Both Tyson Mitchell, J. Will, and Dwight Manfredi, Sylvester Stallone, were shocked by the conclusion of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 6, and there is some evidence that suggests either of their villains may have planted the bomb in the Navigator. Dwight's Navigator exploded at the end of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 6, shortly after Tyson gave it to his father, Michael Beach. When Dwight and the rest of his group figure out who put the bomb, it was a really frightening event that will have a big impact on Tulsa King Season 2. There isn't much evidence to identify a single culprit because the explosion was so unexpected. Before the bomb went off, Tyson only noticed a white Prius that had been after him all day. With the increase in opponents in Tulsa King Season 2, this indeterminate piece of evidence could make the search more challenging. Any of Dwight's primary antagonists could be to blame, and there will probably be a great deal of carnage after they discover who put the bomb. Bill Bevacqua. Bill is still angry about Carl's death and mad about the sit-down. Another strong contender for the bombing of the Navigator is Frank Grillo's character, Bill Bevacqua, the mob boss in Kansas City. Bill may have planted the device because of his past animosity toward Dwight. Bill perceived Dwight's operation in Tulsa as an invasion of his domain and believed that Dwight ought to have obtained his consent before moving west. Then, during their initial encounter, Dwight rejected Bill's offer and insulted him. The fact that Bill had previously attempted to kill Dwight was likely the strongest hint that he planted the bomb. Bill had one of his capos, Carl, commit a hit on Dwight at the conclusion of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 3. There's no reason why Bill wouldn't have tried the car bomb again if he had been willing to kill Dwight at the time. In addition, Bill was still upset that Carl was slain and that Goody, played by Chris Caldovino, had betrayed him. He told his other man that he might not keep the agreement he and Dwight had made at the sit-down. Bill might only take blood as payment because he didn't think the bargain was good enough to deserve Carl's death. Bill is not entirely exonerated even if his attendance at the sit-down may be proof that he did not plant the device. Even before the sit-down, Bill expressed reluctance and threatened to kill Dwight if they were together in the same room. Additionally, Bill employs a number of individuals, any one of whom may have planted and detonated the bomb during his time in Atlanta. Furthermore, Bill may have been intentionally targeting Tyson rather than Dwight in an attempt to get revenge for Carl's passing. That might help explain why Dwight was miles away when the bomb detonated. Thresher. Cal's attacks on Dwight have been escalating. Thresher, Neil McDonough, is one of the most plausible candidates for the Navigator bombing. Cal has been fighting Dwight in any way he can since the beginning of Tulsa King Season 2. During his bribery trial, he first forced the U.S. attorney to ensure Dwight was imprisoned. He began bribing Armand, Max Casella, for information after that failed. He then attempted to sabotage Dwight's agreement at the wind farm using that information. When that failed, he dispatched a few of Jackie Ming's, Rich Ting, men to the farm to demolish it and impede building. Although Cal's constant attacks on Dwight are a strong indication that he may be the bombing's perpetrator, there is also another pattern that suggests Dwight is the culprit. The scope and intensity of Cal's attacks have all been increasing. He initially made an effort to keep his hands clean and persuade the U.S. attorney to imprison Dwight. After that, Cal got his hands dirty and escalated the situation until he persuaded Jackie's men, hardened Chinese gangsters, to physically assault Dwight. It would seem that Cal's escalation would naturally lead to a car bomb. It would seem that Thresher's escalation would naturally lead to a car bomb. Cal has the most incentive of all the general's adversaries to destroy him, in addition to the other methods he has previously assaulted Dwight. Dwight has become enraged by Cal's attacks thus far, and Dwight has threatened Cal directly. The person Cal sent to execute the job might have screwed up and exploded it without noticing that Mark was getting into the car, and Cal might have escalated to attempted murder just to prevent Dwight from killing him. Cal probably assumed Dwight would be riding in the Navigator that day because he was unaware of the sit-down. Chickie and Vernizzi. Chickie is becoming more unhinged and still has a grudge against Dwight. However, Chickie and Vernizzi, Dominic Lombardozzi, is the most probable person to make such a significant error. Dwight has been attempting to assassinate the general since Tulsa King Season 1 and has the longest-running and most nasty feud with Chickie. It all began when Chickie decided to exile Dwight to Oklahoma after he was released from prison. He then saw Dwight as the final relic of his father, Pete, after Chickie killed him. After Chickie arrived in Tulsa with the intention of killing Dwight but left empty-handed after Goody defected, the two became overtly antagonistic. Chickie's mental condition is a crucial component in determining whether or not he planted the bomb. He has been on a downhill spiral ever since Chickie killed Pete, growing more sloppy and insane every day. Chickie frequently gets into arguments with his allies and makes mistakes, such as leaving his ankle pistol at the airport. Chickie might be so mentally ill that he would attempt to bomb Tyson or Dwight, and he probably wouldn't even be upset that Mark was caught in the crossfire. Additionally, the fact that Chickie no longer cares history suggests that he might not have been specifically aiming to kill Dwight, but rather might